make $1 million in commission every year? Do you want to know some habits, some tricks and some tools to set yourself apart from all of the other agents in your industry so that you are consistently making more money than you've ever dreamed of? Regardless of where you are in the world, this is the podcast for you. Hey, my name's Sandra Carter. Welcome to episode 2 of my podcast, $1 Million Commercial Agent. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about the tools that you will need to set yourself up from the get-go to streamline your life as a commercial agent. These tools include the websites and subscriptions that are going to make you look mind-blowingly efficient compared to the competition. First things first, if the office hasn't provided this for you or you're independent, you need to go and arrange some very good professional headshot photographs of yourself with a reputable photographer. Get your best suit on, get your hair done, get your makeup done if applicable, and make sure you're looking your very best. Regardless of the airbrushing they will do, you want to give them a decent head start. Ladies, be professional, no cleavage. You don't want a client not dealing with you because his wife doesn't like your profile picture. It happens. Gentlemen, leave the Zoolander at home as well. We don't want a male model shot. We just want an approachable, lovely photo. Too many male agents have their profile picture with no smile on their face and their hands crossed across their body. It's a defensive, aggressive look. And it may look like you are taking over the world, and that's kind of how we want you to feel, but don't put it in your profile picture. It just looks as though you're too arrogant to be approached. Remember, $1 Million agents, the hard sell has gone. People want a personable service now. Bring your personality out in your profile picture. Smile, be approachable. It will work wonders. Okay, so now you've got a fabulous profile picture to work with. You need to go and set yourself up some subscriptions. Some of them will be free. Some of them will be a little bit of money, but not much. And all of them will make your life very, very easy and make you look super professional. So let's start with the most critical profile you need to set up for your career, and that is on LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, you need to get one. LinkedIn is amazing. It allows you to get to anybody. It is the coolest way to get in touch with anybody and everybody. It makes cold calling a breeze because you can always find a point of conversation when you're trying to approach someone. I'm going to do a whole another podcast on LinkedIn and how you do that. I'm also going to interview a leading LinkedIn expert who talks about how you need to position yourself on LinkedIn and how building a really good profile can place you at the top 1% of the people in your industry. So it's really important. So when you're starting off in LinkedIn and you're connecting to people, as agents, I always recommend having a no agent policy, which means that you don't connect to other agents that you're competing with. Your main goal is to connect to people that you are going to need to get in touch with in whatever sector you're in. So for example, if you're in childcare, you want to connect to developers that do childcare centres. You want to connect to the centres themselves. You want to connect to anybody that's building these childcare centres, the landscape architects. All of these people help your career because they are going to be connected to people you want to eventually talk to. And if you're only 1 degree away or a second connection, you're going to get to the person you want to get to. So build your contact base around the industries that you're working in. Another example would be, for instance, if you're into industrial projects and you want to get in touch with the builders and the developers and again, architects who are doing these projects so that you are still only 1 degree away from whoever you want to get to, because these architects have a lot of clients and you can see them on their LinkedIn profile. Their contacts are there. They're all connected. And that is the charm of the LinkedIn. It's connecting everybody. And if you add enough people on the profile, you will be so close to whoever you're trying to get to. It'll be 1 click away and you can honestly get to anybody. Just a heads up, LinkedIn is not a dating platform. Do not try and hook up on LinkedIn. It's a small little planet we play on and everyone will know about it. So just avoid that and keep it professional, my friends. So why should you have a no agent policy? Well, let me tell you. when you have a really nice little pool of contacts in your LinkedIn, be selective about who you're connecting to. Don't just click through and connect to everybody. But what happens if you make friends with someone you're competing with? They can see your clients too. You're giving them just as much access to the world as you have, and it really should be for you. A lot of agents will follow you and they'll like you and they'll try and be friends with you, and then they'll go through your contact list and add everybody that you're connected to, and it's easy pickings. So if you're friends with agents, that's what they're going to do. So my tip to you, don't do that. Next thing with your LinkedIn profile is to make sure that you pad it out. Don't just put a couple of one-liners. And when you're writing about yourself on your LinkedIn profile, don't write it as though it's written from a third party. Write it as though it's coming from yourself. Make sure you put all of your experience in there, and then try and connect with people that you've done business with historically and ask them for a recommendation. You want to start building your recommendations up as you go along. So that's the fundamentals for why you need a LinkedIn profile. So get started on that. We will go into it in more detail later on, as I mentioned before. Now this is 2022. Now this is the world of social media. And our social media used to be a social thing. Now social media is a marketing platform. Facebook is an advertising platform. And you can be very selective as to who you're targeting. Now with commercial, it's a little bit hit and miss because it doesn't have a feature allowing you to narrow down to a commercial real estate investor as such. However, you can still get to a lot of people because those people have Facebook profiles, right? They're using it for personal use. The algorithm is going to find these people. It knows what their interests are. The internet is scary. Everybody's being profiled right down to the minutest detail, whatever they like, whatever they're following. Facebook has created a database of their information. So if these people are likely to be interested in commercial real estate, once you start putting ads up on your business page, which is something you need to create, it will find them. So build that business page, create a page with your own profile name on it, just your name as a commercial agent, and start to feed things through about what you're doing on a daily basis, your new listings, any video blogs that you want to put up there, put it on Facebook. And you might not get any followers or many followers on your actual business page itself, but it doesn't matter because you can use the platform to advertise. If you get a really good property, you can stick it out there on Facebook and you can send it out to the whole country, wherever you are. And it's just an incredible platform for reaching people. What you can also do is link that profile, the Facebook page, onto an Instagram profile as well. So if you haven't got Instagram already, I'm imagining you have it. You want to create a business Instagram and have your Facebook and your Instagram linked through the Meta Business Suite on Facebook, which means you can upload things pretty seamlessly to both platforms and advertise on both platforms as well. Save yourselves a lot of time. So how do you create those advertisements, I hear you say? Well, I'm glad you asked me that. There is a website, you must look at it straight away. It's called Canva, www.canva.com. Now, Canva is a lifesaver. You can create loads and loads of material, whether it be for an Instagram post or whether it be for your LinkedIn profile where you're advertising something or you're talking about something, or whether it be for your Facebook page. Canva is gold. It's so easy to use. There's loads and loads of templates. I'm not getting paid by Canva for the record. I am just promoting them because I love them and I use them all the time. And I've had friends say to me, wow, your stuff looks really professional. Who's doing it for you? And I'm like, it's little old me. And if you knew me, you would know I'm about as creative as a brick. So I need stuff like this Canva platform to make me look good. And it's something you can do really quickly. You can use the same templates over and over again and save them into folders. I usually save them into the property folder for each property, and then I just do little updates. So that's really critical that you use Canva to make yourself look good, because it really does. It's well worth it. And I think it does charge you a small fee. You can do a free subscription, but I think it's roughly $17 a month. Best $17 I've ever spent. Love it. Okay, the other website that you need to subscribe to, which is the Ducks Nuts. Am I allowed to say that without ticking the explicit box probably, is MailChimp. Now, MailChimp lets you set up campaigns using your database. So what you want to do with MailChimp is join it. It's free up to about 2,000 clients, so 2,000 email addresses, and you can send out newsletters and you can send out campaigns with lists of your properties on there, and you can tag each individual client. Their profile will have information. It's actually a database keeper. So it's really, really important, and it makes it easy. So when you get a property, when you get a listing, for example, if you've got a retail shop for lease or a retail shopping centre for sale, depending on what field you're in, you can go into MailChimp and pick all of the prospects that would suit that listing, and you can send it to them in one hit. MailChimp is awesome because it lets you see who's opened each email. It lets you see how many times they've opened it, and it tells you who they are. So a lot of the feedback you get on your statistics for most other things, they don't tell you who's making the hit. But in MailChimp, you can see that person. You can see which email address opened the same thing 25 times, and it also rates them. So if they're someone that continuously opens your information, they get a star rating. And if they're a 5-star client in your database, you can narrow it down and pull all the 5-star guys out and actually make contact with them, because they're the guys that are looking at your stuff. So it's absolute gold. For the record, I am also not being paid by MailChimp, but I think I should be, just between you and me. And finally, the other website that you want to have connection to is Google Drive. Now, Google Drive allows you to upload files from your computer to Google Drive and then download them again to your phone. So if you're out on site and you need some documentation, you can have folders for the properties you're working with in your phone. So if somebody needs a plan, you haven't sent it to them, or you've just met them, or somebody needs the information memorandum, you can just go onto your phone and pull down the PDFs and text it to them, or even airdrop it to them when they're in front of you. So it makes your life a whole lot easier. Also, if you've forgotten documentation when you're on the road and you're going to an inspection and you don't have the information printed out in hard copy with you, you can bring it up on your phone. So what you want to make sure of is that all of your files that you're working on, there is a copy of that information in your Google Drive. Most of you will have smartphones. I use an iPhone, which integrates with my Mac. You might be PC, but it doesn't matter. Google Drive will talk to all of those different systems. So get yourself a Google Drive structure. It's Gmail. It will have an associated email address, but you need to have access to those folders. So $1 Million Agents, that just about covers the basic fundamental tools that you need to be a superstar agent. So just to recap, we talked about getting a super duper professional photo shoot done so that you can look your very best, and you can use those photos for all of the other platforms that you need, such as LinkedIn. Critical first step in your career is to establish a really, really good LinkedIn profile. Facebook, you want to have a business Facebook profile with an Instagram business profile, all linked together on the Meta Business Suite through Facebook, which allows you to integrate all of your advertising in one place and makes your life super, super quick. The other platform is Canvas. And I forgot to tell you that Canva allows you to send ads directly to Facebook and LinkedIn if you've got that Meta Business Suite set up. Again, not getting paid by Facebook either. Something's going wrong here. Just not sure how to get them to pay me any money. Anyway, so that's going to make your life super easy and super quick as you create your ads, and just shoot them off to Facebook, shoot them off to Instagram, do it twice a day. Some people say you should post on Instagram 4 times a day. I think, wow, that's a lot of time, but if you can, more power to you. So the other subscription you really need to get your hands on early days is the MailChimp. Every time someone calls you, stick their email address in MailChimp, tag them and flag them as what they're interested in. If they're investors, if they're retail tenants, if they're industrial tenants, make sure that you have segregated every single person so that when you have a property, you can quickly match it and send out a bunch of emails in one hit, save yourself some time. And last but not least, make sure that you have access to Google Drive. Make sure all of your key folders are in that Google Drive so that you can access information wherever you are. You don't want to be caught short. You don't want to be out on the road heading to an inspection and go, oh, I forgot the brochure, or I forgot the plans, or I forgot the information memorandum for this property. You don't have time to go and get it. Bring it up on your phone and you can say that you're saving paper and that you're saving the planet because you're doing everything electronically these days, whatever it takes. And another key element that makes Google Drive really, really useful and makes you stand out, you can be sitting on the side of the road and suddenly get an inquiry from someone at a completely different property and they're asking for information, and you can say, sure, I'm going to send it to you now. How efficient will you look if you're sending information straight from your phone because you can see it on your Google Drive? Perfect. It makes you look as though you're efficient. A lot of agents don't even answer the phone when they get the inquiry. Pick the phone up, send them the information. You're already streets ahead of the competition. So it's super easy to stand out when you have these tools at your fingertips.